I called him useless. Now he's thriving without me, and I'm left with the guilt. I never thought a single word could ruin everything, but it did. The word was useless, and I was the one who said it. His name was Marcus. We met in a college art class, back when we both thought passion was enough to build a life on. He had this quiet charm, a slow confidence that felt calming at first. I was the planner, the doer. He was the dreamer. I told myself we balanced each other out. That was the lie I clung to for years. By the time we moved in together, I had already started seeing the cracks. He was always working on something, but never finishing anything. One month it was music, the next photography, then woodworking. Every time he hit a challenge, he'd quit and move on to something else. No real job, no health insurance, no plan. I held us together. I paid the rent, scheduled the doctor's appointments, cooked, cleaned, and still managed a 50-hour work week. He said he wasn't ready for the 9-to-5 life yet. But neither was I. I just didn't have the luxury to opt out. I didn't explode all at once. The resentment crept in slowly like mold under fresh paint. I started keeping score. Every dish left in the sink, every overdraft alert, every time I had to explain why I couldn't just take a break from my job. I kept it all inside. Until one night, I couldn't anymore. He was sitting on the balcony, sketching something in a notebook. The lights were off. The dishes from dinner were still on the table. I stood there, soaked from walking home in the rain because my car needed repairs. Again. And he didn't even look up. "You are absolutely useless, Marcus." I didn't shout it. I said it like a fact. Cold, final. And as soon as I did, I saw his face drop in this way I'd never seen before. Not hurt, not angry, just empty. Like something inside him had shut off. He didn't fight. He didn't even speak. He just walked into the bedroom, packed a backpack, and left. That night, I sat alone at the kitchen table, staring at the sketchbook he left behind. It was filled with drawings of us. Me laughing, sleeping, reading, living. He'd been watching me more closely than I realized, and I'd been too busy keeping score to see it. Weeks passed. Then months. I heard through mutual friends that Marcus had moved across the country. Portland, I think. He'd picked up a gig as an art assistant and eventually started his own business painting murals in cafes and office buildings. Apparently, one of them went viral on TikTok. He was thriving. I hated how proud that made me feel. And how angry. Was I the villain for wanting him to step up? Or was he the villain for letting me drown while he found himself? That's the thing no one tells you about being the responsible one. Sometimes it hardens you into someone unrecognizable. You get so tired of carrying everything that when someone you love stumbles, you don't reach down to lift them. You push them further so you don't fall too. Here's the part I'm ashamed of. Deep down, I liked the power imbalance. It made me feel needed, superior, useful. And when Marcus started pulling away, showing signs of independence, it terrified me. I wasn't afraid he'd fail. I was afraid he'd succeed without me, so I crushed him before he could. Fast forward to last month. I was on Instagram and saw a post from an artist I followed. It was Marcus, standing in front of one of his new murals with a caption that read, "For anyone who's ever been called useless, you're not." I stared at that screen for a long time. My name wasn't there, but it might as well have been. He wasn't talking to the world. He was talking to me, and he was right. He was never useless. He just didn't grow at my pace, on my terms. I confused control with care. I thought I was helping. I wasn't. I've been on both sides now. The caretaker and the one who breaks someone down. And I still don't know which is worse. But I do know this. When you use shame as a weapon in a relationship, it doesn't just wound the other person. It damages your own capacity to love. Now I want to hear your take. Is it ever okay to shame someone into manning up? Have you ever said something you can't take back? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about emotional power, guilt, and the fine line between support and control.